All right, hi everybody. Welcome to Recine Time. We're back. It's another episode, and it's just me and Michele today. Sometimes all you have is Michele. Sometimes people let you down, and all you have is your Korean your Korean friend. What is going on? Everybody's broke. I can feel it. Everyone's broke. Everybody's having a tough time, and it's still like, and nothing, but nobody really cares. Like nothing is going to happen. It feels like everybody's kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm broke, and this is what it is. Like we've been so worn down, and we're all just kind of like, okay. A couple people hit me up for moving jobs, and I've never had like it's always been like, here's the price, and they go, oh, okay. And lately I've had a few people be like, well, actually, can you do it for this much? They don't have the money. Nobody has the money. Who has the money? Who has the money? I'm not sure.
Literally no one has the money. Like even like the regular companies that, used to make money selling us cheap crap under like fancy branding, even they are now just basically selling data to data brokers, and like every company's coming out with some AI product to surveil you and then send your data to data brokers who then send it to the US government. The actual shitty product is no longer making them money because no one has money to buy it.
Right. And it's like, are we all just slowly marching towards death and starvation? Are we all just going to slowly like not have any protein? Are we all just gonna, and we're all just gonna accept it, and we're all just gonna kind of be like, okay, I guess, yeah, whatever. I went to a bar right before this. I'm a little toasty on today's episode, but I got two whiskeys, and she brought me my check, and she goes, I should have told you, but the bullet whiskey is $20, but I bought you one. So she gave me one for free, but it's like, wait a minute, why is bullet whiskey $20? So what's happening? Because it kind of feels like we're heading towards a society where everybody's fucking everybody. That's what it feels like. Everybody's trying to fuck everybody because everybody's going, okay, well, I can't get the money that I used to get for this service, and so let's all just we're headed towards something. We're headed towards something bad. That's how I feel. Housing is the other thing. Housing is expensive. We pay all of our money to housing. We live worse than medieval peasants when you think about it, because at least medieval peasants they were able to have families. They were able to have families and have kids, and they only I think medieval peasants only worked like 150 days out of the year or something like that.
Yeah, they worked the land, and then what they had existed in relation to how much they worked. Mm-hmm. If the bounty was plentiful, then their lives were good for a little. Whereas now, you can kind of just work into the ether, and it doesn't really have any correlation with the money you make.
I don't know. It just feels like everybody's broke, but it's like it's not that bad. It's not catastrophic. It's just slowly falling apart. That's how I feel. Everything's kind of slowly falling apart.
Here, things are really good in China.
In China, they're so good. I just saw some Instagrams of somebody who went to China. It looks like paradise. It looks amazing. You go. This is totally worth 50 million people getting killed. I would kill 100 million people for this. They're up, but it doesn't, that's the thing. It doesn't feel catastrophic. It just feels like, okay, here we go. It feels like a very slow car crash. It feels like a go-kart accident. This country is, a go-kart accident. It's like we're in a go-kart and we're headed towards a brick wall at 25 miles an hour. It's literally just a go-kart. But no, we can't stop the go-kart, and we're going to slowly hit the wall.
You have autism.
What's wrong with that? I'm passionate about stuff. I don't wish you would do anything. I just
I can't control you.
It's Recine Time. I hope you guys are doing okay. But I read the exit surveys on Patreon, and people go, "Oh, I'm just broke. I just don't have any money." And then you go like, well, can we do something like what is money even? That's the conversation I'm having with myself. I go, what's money? There's good things. There's the library. There's books, right? So I go like, can I live without money? And I think maybe that is what's going to happen. We're all going to check out. We're all going to check out of the system. We're going to go, what's money? Who cares? Let's max out our credit cards. And then maybe we'll have, I think what's going to happen in this country is there is going to be a revolution, but everyone will be in like jazzy scooters. We're gonna storm the Capitol. When you're like too fat. When you go to Walmart and there's like scooters that you can ride if you're like too fat, but you still want to shop. And then everybody's stealing, but it's kind of like, go ahead, take it. That's what this country is. It's just a slow march. It's a slow march towards January 6th.
I mean, I like what you were saying, which is that like you're done with money. Like you just want real value. Like, we could go back to like trading things, like trading services and stuff, or like bartering goods or whatever. But it's like none of us even really have
skills.
I was gonna say like valuable stuff. Like, back in the day, like, your grandma would have like mixer that would last 100 years and work. And now we all have like shitty plastic crap. But now the way we can go back to bartering is just like, I'll let you steal from my Target job if you let me steal from your Whole Foods job.
Yeah, you come into Dick's Sporting Goods and get some sweatpants and then I'll go into the Wegmans and get some beans. Some beans, and fucking beans are like $3, by the way. I just want and I'm like, this has to be a universal experience. You go to the grocery store and beans are $3. Beans are not so. Beans are supposed to be a dollar, under $1, maybe $1.09, maybe $1.09, maybe $1.20. $1.25 is too much for beans. And nobody really seems to be like really making noise about it. Well, I guess they gave us podcasts, so everybody's gambling on their podcast. Everybody's going like, I'll get rich if I do a podcast. But if I had to guess, I would say there's got to be at least 400 million active podcasts right now. But I think there is going to be some kind of event. There's going to be. I still think there's going to be some kind of spark that gets people out of their houses and gets people. There's going to be like a January 6th, but good. There's going to be a January 6th. There's going to be a jazzy 6th, as they say. Everybody in their jazzy scooters are gonna go and there's just gonna be too many jazzy scooters and
but
people.
That's the problem. Is like back in the day, it was very clear, like, we're storming the castle. Who's our lord or whatever. Now it's like very muddy. Like people don't really know where to storm.
Right.
People feel like they need to storm, like some white actor that played a black role.
Yeah.
We can only do so much storming, and they diffuse our storming, so we don't really have the energy to go storm the real rich. Right,
like where do we even direct our rage? Smash and grabs? Maybe a smash and grab.
I feel like that's low level. I feel like, but that's the problem, is like anyone who is worth storming, we wouldn't even get close. Like we could go try to storm Larry Ellison's like Lanai Island of Hawaii that he owns if he's there. But we wouldn't even get close. They'll let us smash and grab. Right.
Yeah, and then everybody's paying like half their income in rent. Yeah. And that's I know I do want to believe that something's coming, but maybe we are just a nation of cattle. Maybe we are just goy cattle. All of us. And maybe not you, no, but maybe that's the move, is that the people who are upset with this, maybe we do have to convert to Judaism and support Israel.
So that you get the call, you get the 9/11 call before the buildings go down.
We want the 9/11 call. Yeah.
Before the country goes down.
And get the little boost, because if it's like if you see it, then you should join. You know what I mean? Like imagine like medieval Europe, okay? We all know that the king is some of us know the king is screwing us, so why don't we just make a deal with the king? Let's just make a deal with the king. That's what you might see. What you might see happening. But anyway, I was perusing the news the other day. Fuck, I had this opened up and now it's gone. But here we go. This is from the New York Post. Grisly details emerge over fate of California Army vet who confronted tenant that kept covering security cameras. The remains of a beloved California Army veteran were callously tossed off a pier and left in a park by her murderous tenant. Newly released court documents charge her murderous tenant. She was murdered. The landlord was murdered by her tenant. Can you believe it? Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done, my lord, about these peasants. They're killing us. Something. My lord, we got to do something. We got to tell the people. We got to start killing these people and letting them know that they can't get away with this. Police say Brenda Gillett, 56, of San Diego, was killed and dismembered by her dementated Chula Vista tenant Robert Watkins, who later confessed to the sickening crime that occurred May 31st. Drama unfolded around 2 a.m. the day Gillett was killed when she called the police from the home she rented to Watkins to report ongoing problems with the tenant, according to court documents. Gillett told officers that Watkins had been covering security cameras installed at the home, which worried her, and also hosted too many guests there in violation of house rules. Police told Gillett, that they could not help with the eviction process.
House rules? Am I paying you rent or not?
Exactly.
To monitor how many people are coming to my house? Get a job.
No, they love being like, this is my property.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry you got dismembered, but I'm pretty sure what you're doing is illegal. I'm pretty sure what you're doing is in violation of the law. Why are you setting up security cameras in my... Where were the security cameras? You can't put security cameras in somebody's home. That's their home that they're paying for.
Wait, keep reading. Can we find out? Was it like in the lobby or in their home?
I read this article and it didn't really say like where the cameras were. I have a landlord now, and it's like I do pay a lot of my money. I do pay a lot of my income for rent. But I don't want to dismember this guy. Like, he's an okay guy. I pay my rent. I literally pay my rent on like the 12th every month. We had a problem with our shower. He sent the super over. They fixed the shower. They fixed the ceiling in the bathroom. It's an Italian guy that owns the building with his brother. It's like a generational building.
This is how things used to be.
Used to be, yeah.
Everyone's landlord is like a giant company now.
Right. It used to be that like the guy who was raping you was polite. He was at least, he would show up at your house. You knew his name. The guy that was raping
you. Or like
you.
he was a guy. He was like an individual guy that did not have the time to be the cops all the time and would not jump on you if you're a few days late.
Right.
Now it's like a company with an automatic system, and you used to be able to count on the human error of the guy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like you could reason with a guy. Yeah. You could bribe a guy.
Yeah.
You could show your tits to a guy for a discount. You can't do that with Bushburg Properties.
Bushburg. So I'm trying to find out with this story, because it says at around 3 a.m. Gillett was seen on Ring cameras going to the back of the house where she'd served as property manager. According to court documents, it was the last time she was seen alive. Gillett's sister called police to report her missing sister the following morning. That day, officers responded to Gillett's rental home on Via Curvada to perform a welfare check. They found Gillett's car, but were unable to locate Villa herself. With mounting concern, the officers searched the residence, finding blood-soaked pieces of evidence from both the inside and the outside of the house. Officers who also interviewed Watkins discovered scratch marks on his body and blood on his shoes. Police arrested Watkins, who confessed to the crime upon interrogation, prosecutors said. Now listen to this paragraph. The demented tenant beat Gillett with a hammer, killing her, dismember her body. A hammer? According to court documents. Right, no one is killing...
A hammer?
And I feel like if I could hit you with a hammer like 3 times. I could take a hammer and I could hit you maybe 3 times. But then I'd be like, you know what? She fixed my door that one time. Like, she came over with her tools and she fixed my door. Yeah. What am I doing here? Right. killing someone with a hammer, that's something that you've really committed to. But if you're cracking someone's skull, like there has to be a moment where you go, okay, I've at least given them brain damage at this point. You know, I've at least made them. They're gonna have to be in special ed. Hey, by the way, I read something interesting today. Black Power.
Listening
to it, sure. Don't do this. Michelle, come on.
I don't care.
I was listening to Black Power by Kwame Ture and Charles Hamilton, right? And so sometimes when I'm reading, I go like, is this worth my time? You know, should I be hustling? Should I be grinding? Should I be mailing out T-shirts right now? Should I be, should I be going to Whole Foods and putting chickens in my pants? Whatever, is this worth it? But I learned a really interesting fact, and they said that when Ghana was colonized, there was not a single. They were taking the cocoa out of Ghana to make chocolate, but there was not a single chocolate factory in Ghana. But the whole thing with colonialism is they're like, no, we're doing you a favor. Like, we're helping your people. We're civilizing you. We're civilizing you, but no chocolate for your kids, by the way. Only chocolate for me.
It's not even no chocolate for your kids, no chocolate for you guys to eat. We get to eat it all. It's the profits from selling chocolate don't go to you and your kids in your community. It go to me overseas.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was like a good reminder that, like, you think that this stuff doesn't have any worth. But if when you understand the nature of these things, it makes you more empathetic. When you understand colonialism, you go, oh, now I get why some people are upset. Now I get why some people are upset. And
actually I'm upset.
And now I'm upset because it's like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. That little fact makes you go, oh, interesting. Only chocolate for Whitey. Maybe that'll be the title of the episode. Only chocolate for Whitey. Only chocolate for me. Please bring the chocolate back to Germany and to Belgium. And I don't even think Africans like chocolate. Actually, they don't know what to do with it. Only for me and my family. But another book I was listening to Against Empire by Michael Parenti, and he was talking about like academia and colleges and stuff, and apparently slavery was not challenged. Whitey has to tell himself that it's okay what he's doing to you, and that it's science. Actually, slavery is because of science. So here at the Recine Time podcast, we just want to say fuck science, and we don't care for it. Anyway, I keep losing this article. Yeah, that day officers responded to Gillett's rental home on Via Curvada to perform a welfare check. They found Gillett's car but were unable to locate Gillett herself. With mounting concern, officers searched the residence, finding blood-soaked pieces of evidence from the inside and the outside of the house. Officers also who interviewed Watkins discovered scratch marks on his body and blood on his shoes. Police arrested Watkins, who confessed to the crime upon interrogation, prosecutors said.
No quote from him?
No quote from him. Isn't that interesting?
No, it's not, obviously. It's not interesting because his lawyers, the first thing he's going to say is do not speak.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's guilty.
Why don't they let these guys speak?
Well, yeah. That would be better for us.
There should be a law, actually. If you kill your landlord, you get to record a podcast about it. You get to tell your side of the story. To Joe Rogan.
If you kill landlords and if you kill a police officer.
Yes.
But no one else.
Yes.
Don't kill anyone else.
The Joe Rogan of the left is just a guy who interviews people who killed people who killed their landlords or a police officer. That's the actual Joe Rogan of the left. See, Joe, basically, Joe, Do you know who owned the slave ships? Joe, do you know who makes all the porn? And that's the Joe Rogan of the left. And people would go, that's not Joe Rogan of the left. Man, that would be a great podcast. Did you kill your landlord? Well, there was a guy actually who killed, he was getting evicted from his apartment, 60-year-old guy. He killed a sheriff who was coming to serve the eviction notice. But then he was shot by the cops. Obviously, Steven something, which is a very black guy name. It's a black guy who kills a guy who killed his landlord whose name's Steven. That's a black Steven. A white Steven is like, I don't even know if white Stevens exist anymore.
Well, Stephen PH is white.
Who's that?
I'm just saying, like, Stephen with a PH.
Oh, yeah.
Stefan
Molyneux?
Yeah, who is that?
He's like a white nationalist.
Okay.
His name is Stefan. Wow, isn't that funny? There was a white nationalist named Stefan, and when Urkel became cool, he was Stefan. The spectrums of Stefans. The duality of Stefans. That could be another. Okay, some of Gillett's remains were found stuffed in a suitcase that Watkins dumped at Paseo del Rey Park at the rental property. Now, look, I understand. Like, we have the most militarized police force in the world, right? So I understand that. Like, okay, let's say you're serving an eviction notice and a guy kills a cop and maybe kills like a police dog or something. And I get it. Like, you're a cop and you're upset. I get it. Your best friend. You know, listen, your wife cheats on you and you have this dog and the dog is your best friend and you're like, my best friend was killed. I have to go in there and kill this guy. But you don't really need to. You should have enough resources at your disposal to be a professional and take this guy alive. He's 90 years old and okay, he fell behind on rent. Obviously. So just something to think about. Do they volunteer garbage men? That'd be kind of fun.
No money?
Yeah, I don't care.
No, because that's a highly skilled job.
Garbage man?
You're thinking of like the guy that just picks up the garbage in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could volunteer for that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But like the actual garbage men, have you seen the way they like do their craft?
Do their craft?
Yeah. They're artisans.
Okay.
And
I
then
guess
they
not.
ride on the outside of the truck.
Yeah, but that's not like skilled labor.
No,
I could
it's
do
not.
that.
And it's also like they're riding 1 mile an hour from one house to the next.
Right.
Like one door down.
Yeah, I could do that. I'll do that for free. I would smell like cum. What?
Why?
It's just when I come home, smell like cum. And Deb is like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I'm volunteering for this sanitation department." Excuse me, I'm actually out there contributing. What do you do, babe? Speech therapy for children? Look at you. How about you leave me alone? How about you be quiet? Yeah, you know what? It's because of guys like me that defend your freedom. The reason you're free is because of guys like me.
Do you know how quickly shit would devolve if the garbage men went on strike?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what profession can you say that about? When the teachers go on strike, like,
Yeah.
no one cares.
Oh, no one.
They're always striking. No one is affected. Everything's fine.
Oh, no, the teachers went on strike again. Oh, no. No algebra this week. Oh, I guess I'll have to learn what an isosceles is at the fucking library.
Google it.
I guess I'll have to Google circumference. Oh no. Fuck off. Why don't you fuck off, teachers? Fuck you, teachers.
Who are you?
I'm an Australian parent. Fuck you, teachers. Fuck off. Hey, teachers, why don't you suck my penis? I'm a volunteer garbage man and I'm Australian and I smell like cum. All right. What else is happening? We have another. I'll tell you what's interesting. We have another story. Another man. Michelle, another man has been sexually harassed by his boss. Michelle, there is an epidemic out there of men whose bosses want to fuck them. And it's really bad. This says Walmart worker claims female boss bombarded him with nudes, sexually explicit messages, and tried to assault him in car. Suit. Now, this is great because, like, has a woman in the history of photos, right? In the history of photography, has a woman this is my question. Has a woman ever sent a nude that has been not like well received? That's what I want to know. In the 1600s, when a woman had to get out oil paints, she had to get out oil paints and turpentine and a canvas. She had to get out a canvas and oil paints and paint her breasts onto a blank canvas, and then she had to find like either a carrier pigeon or like a retarded boy and send the nudes to the person that she wanted to send them to. Has that nude ever been like not well received? During the Civil War, when camera film was very limited and we needed to use the film for taking pictures of like dead bodies on the battlefield, and there was a woman who like got her hands on some film and set up like lights that were set up lights in a tripod and got naked and took a nude and then like hand delivered it to a guy. Like, has there ever been an unwanted nude in the history of humanity? Even if you get a nude, even I would take like a nude from like a burn victim. I'm not right now, but like when I was single, you know, if a woman was horribly disfigured in a fire and she took a picture on her, if it was like 2005 and she had a flip phone and she had like a Motorola Razr, like the first ever camera phone, and she was also horribly disfigured in a fire, and she sent me a nude and her body was covered in burns.
Like covered?
Well, burned pretty bad.
Which parts were not burned?
Like only her fingers were not burned. And she sent me a nude, and I didn't know what it was at first. And like I got a nude on my phone. It's 2005. I flip open my Motorola Razr, and I go, oh, okay. Oh, what is that? Oh, is that like focaccia bread or something? Oh, what do we got here? Is this Oh, what is this like some kind of English pudding that I've never had before? Hey, is this like oh no, I get that's a nude from a burn victim. I would go, oh, nice, cool, thank you for that nude. A Long Island, New York Walmart worker claims his female boss bombarded him with nude photos and sexually explicit text messages and even tried to assault him in a car before helping orchestrate a years-long retaliation campaign that ended with his firing, according to a federal lawsuit. This, I mean, you kind of have to respect it. I mean, what it does look like to me is another Hail Mary. Somebody was having an affair. This is why in corporate, right, you're not allowed to like fraternize or like have relationships with your coworkers because it can always lead to a lawsuit, especially if it's like a boss. I mean, especially if it's a boss and a worker, obviously that can lead to problems. Now, you would think if it's a female boss, they go, yeah, okay, sure, who cares? But now it's like even the guys with the female bosses are like, no, she took advantage of me. Sean White, a former team leader at Walmart stores in Uniondale and Valley Stream, accused the company of sexual harassment, retaliation, and wrongful termination in a suit filed May 6 in Brooklyn federal court. We do not tolerate harassment and or retaliation of any kind, a Walmart spokesperson told the Post. We are reviewing the complaint and will respond appropriately to the court.
That guy who lied, whose lawyer dropped him, ruined it for everyone. Because now we're just dismissing all of these out of hand.
Yeah,
but like, obviously real sexual harassment exists.
Yeah, but does it exist from female to male? I don't think
can.
So. It's funny.
You don't know the situation with these people. Do you agree that it can exist?
It can, but I think it's extremely rare. Women sending you unwanted nudes.
Yeah. The Walmart manager, how much power does that person really have? You all work for corporate. Maybe she could change your shift. But, you know, it's not like the old school, like, workplace sexual harassment stories where, like, the harasser, like, really had a lot of power over the victim. That's
why I just think it's probably fake. But that is how you make a little bit. That's how you put a down payment on a house. It says Ford allegedly sent White naked photos of herself and sexually suggestive messages inviting him to, quote, come over to my house and go out to eat. White claims the situation escalated dramatically in August 2019. During a ride home from a gathering attended by coworkers, Ford allegedly jumped on top of him and attempted to sexually assault him. While his brother sat in the vehicle and witnessed the incident, the suit states.
What?
White says he physically resisted.
It's you, your brother, and your boss in a car.
Yeah.
She assaults you, and
Fishy,
your brother is like, I'll just watch, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, and then my brother called me gay. Ford allegedly jumped on top of him and attempted to sexually assault him while his brother sat in the vehicle and witnessed the incident, the suit states. But it feels very, did you ever see Fargo? It feels very like Jerry Lundegaard coded, where it's like Fargo's a movie about, so William H. Macy is like a guy he's a car salesman, and he arranges it for his wife to be kidnapped because his father-in-law is wealthy. So he arranges for like $1 million ransom from his father-in-law, but he tells the kidnappers they're getting $40,000 because he wants to finagle it where it's like he can keep the $1 million from his father-in-law and then give the kidnappers like $40,000. So yeah, this feels very like Jerry Lundegaard kind of, you know, I think I can get out of this. I'm going to trick everybody. And she sent me unwanted nudes. Like I said, nobody gets unwanted nudes. You know, I would take if you sent me like a cow's udder, I would be like, oh, cool. That's like kind of a nude.
Have you ever had breast milk?
Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah.
Was it Deb's?
And that's the only white fluid from a person that I've ever had. Yeah, it was Deb's. No, whose do you think it was? I guess
No, I mean when you were a kid or something.
Yeah, I guess I've had my mom's.
No, not that young.
Yeah, I guess I've had my mom and my grandmother's breast milk.
Yeah, I guess I've had my mom's and my sister's and my grandmother's and my aunts. But other than that, I've only had Deb's.
I guess I've had my cousin's breast milk. I guess one time me and my cousin made a promise to each other that I would get to drink her breast milk when she had her first kid. Because we had forbidden love, me and my cousin. and we said, I know we can never be together, but can you please mail me some of your breast milk? The complaint alleges Ford mocked him in a text message to another employee writing, oh my God, why did White throw his hands up when I got on top of him? Oh my God, I can't, LOL. The alleged harassment continued for years, according to the filing. White claims Ford sent messages stating, I got eyes everywhere watching, and when you come back, we are having sex. White repeatedly rejected the advances and never encouraged the conduct, according to the suit.
I believe this, actually.
You do?
Yeah. This story sounds like he was a victim, honestly.
Okay. After higher-ups allegedly ignored his complaints, White was promoted to team lead and transferred to work at a Valley Stream Walmart in 2021. But 6 months later, to his dismay, Ford started working there, and the harassment allegedly continued. She transferred herself. I do not feel comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm safe or my job is safe, White emailed supervisors at the time, according to the suit. However, instead of being helped, White received disciplinary write-ups and got suspended, the complaint states. He was even fired in 2022, but got reinstated about a month later after he challenged the termination as retaliatory, according to the suit. White says he reported Ford's ongoing conduct through Walmart's ethics portal and directly to managers, but received little or no response. Emails shared with the Post show he was still escalating complaints to management in early 2023, months before his firing. In January 2023, a message to Valley Stream store manager Jared Carpenter and several other Walmart supervisors. White wrote that he wasn't comfortable working with Ford, said he feared losing his job, and stated that he did not feel safe around her. This has been going on and off, even when I was working at the Uniondale location, all because I don't want to pursue a romantic relationship with her, White wrote. Maybe I do believe this.
I believe this, and it kind of feels like we're punching down for no reason.
All
like
right.
the other guy, the JP Morgan banker, it's
Right.
like, shut up.
Yeah.
You're a liar. Your lawyer dropped you. It seems like he was having an affair. You said your wife was ugly or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your fish head wife doesn't have cannons like these.
But this is just seems like some poor guy, honestly.
But
that's the beauty of the Recine Time podcast. Like,
Yeah.
we will change our opinion when we're presented with new information.
Right. And sometimes,
Not a lot of
sometimes we pick
podcasters.
the wrong target to go after. Yeah, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's like, is that like a patriarchy thing? Like, it doesn't. Whenever I see man gets sexually harassed, it makes me just like laugh. And I don't know.
I mean, like, I agree. Like, this should not be the biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who cares? There's obviously like worse cases of sexual harassment out there, but like, it's not this guy's fault that this is the article you found. You know, he didn't tell you to stop talking about rape victims and instead talk about him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make his case any less valid. I think it does suck for him, and I think he's just some poor guy.
But does it feel authentic to you when a guy is like, I'm being sexually harassed by my boss? Like, does that ring like authentic to you?
In this case, yes, because I do believe that like a Walmart shift worker can't just walk away and quit and be like, all right, go away. Like, you know, like the whole, like, what is cyberbullying? Just log off.
Right,
like,
right.
it does not feel like he could just log off.
Right.
Because he probably needs the job.
Right. I guess like you can't really get a job at Home Depot, and they're like, why did you leave your last job? And you're like, my boss was trying to give me pussy.
But she would be the one having to recommend him, right?
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Believe women and black men.
Believe women and black men, and not
But
Indian,
not white men.
not white men or not Indian men. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna follow this story then. If you think we're, we missed the mark here.
No,
think
I
we're
don't
gonna keep
know.
following the
That's
story.
the thing, is we don't know. These people are strangers to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your hunch?
They had an affair. His girlfriend or his wife found like the text exchange, and he was like, "No, I was coerced into that. My boss coerced me." But just him. But does a woman try to
People are
essay you
crazy,
in front of your
Mike.
brother? Yeah.
You just talked about someone that killed someone with a hammer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I believe someone would send
No, but
nudes.
but it's crazy to put cameras in your tenant's house.
No, I agree.
That to me, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's my point, is that like people do crazy things.
Yeah.
People are not mentally well.
No, they're not.
Here in China, like
In
we
China, they're good.
established. Here.
In China, there's trains and there's no homeless, and your boss never tries to fuck you. In China, your female boss never send you nudes. What? People in China go, wait, what? The cops shoot you and your boss sends you nudes? Get out of town. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go over to politics. I feel like this Graham Platner guy, okay? I have tried to not pay attention to this. I have tried to not learn anything about Graham Platner. I don't know when it was, maybe a few months ago. People go like, there's a guy named Graham Platner. He's running for Senate in Maine. He's progressive, allegedly, whatever that means. And he worked for Blackwater, right? So everybody was like, oh, okay, here's your progressive. I mean, to me, that's like the logical conclusion to make, is like, here's your progressive guy who worked for Blackwater. He served in the military. And yeah, what's going on? This is kind of embarrassing and whatever. But he won the primary. He got the nomination, and he's challenging Republican Susan Collins for a Senate seat in Maine. So yeah, whatever. Okay, I feel like why not? Why not? Let's get the Republican out and let's put a Democrat in there, even though he killed people and he has Nazi tattoos. Fine. There's people who seem very passionate about Graham Platner. There's people who are like, there's people like my brother. People like my brother seem to be into Graham Platner. But it's also like we've seen this kind of play out before. Even somebody like AOC, who's a Latino, who's like a Latina bartender, who's a bartender from the Bronx, ends up being kind of like absorbed by the system and ends up letting us down. Somebody like Fetterman, who we all thought when he was running was progressive, and he was the most progressive senator to run, and now he's a warmongering. He seems like he loves when people get blown up with bombs. But Graham Platner's the nominee, so fine, whatever. Let's see what happens. But now there's a thing that there's a this week, a couple weeks from the election, the guy's got a sexting scandal, right? A sexting scandal. So he was sexting. So apparently he was sexting women who were not his wife, and he had a profile on a website called Kicked or something, which is like some kind of app for people who want to have affairs. This is annoying. Like, how is this coming out? How is this coming out? Who is leaking this? This is already very cringe and embarrassing. What are we doing here? What are we doing here is my question. Why now? Why is it an issue? And then it's like people used to actually cheat on their wives back in the day. People would cheat on their wives, but now what ruins you is sexting. And they said he was sexting over a dozen women. What I don't know. What am I trying to say here? What is happening? What is happening? Why is it getting leaked? And this is so stupid. That's how I feel. This is so stupid. There's an article about it. His wife had to make a statement being like, "Oh, my husband." And can I just say this? When you're sexting women that are not your wife, that is a two-way street. Okay? nobody is just like nobody is sexting women who are not being receptive. Okay? Nobody's going like, "Hey, can I get your number?" And by the way, like somebody that is being received and that is being reciprocated. So obviously this guy has to take some responsibility, but like what is a sexting scandal? What's going on? What are we doing? I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
I mean,
This
it
is
just seems
so
like more
stupid.
junk. Like, who cares? Like, we don't have the text, so everyone's just speculating.
Yeah.
The report is that he was sexting like up to 6 women, but we
Sure.
don't have the texts.
We don't have the text.
I just don't. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, who cares? But it's also just so embarrassing.
For him, yeah.
Yeah.
And for our country.
Yeah. And then it's like, is this guy gonna even be anti-war? I've tried not to talk about this guy, but that's how I feel about this guy. Who cares? And I've tried not to talk about him, but this whole thing is so embarrassing.
Wait. Wait, people are calling him a pedophile?
No, come on.
Pedo Platner messaged kids. Platner can't kick a predator's paradise. Huh?
Is that new? Let's see. Platner continued to avoid reporters' questions as recently as Tuesday. Ignoring questions from the press before and after a meeting at the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Mr. Platner, are you here to calm the waters, sir? Platner was asked by Fox News Digital when confronted when he exited to meet with lawmakers, but he did not respond. Fox News Digital reached out to Platner's campaign for comment. One exception included brief comments Platner made to local news outlets, such as News Center Maine on Sunday, where he criticized mainstream media for focusing on gossip rather than politics.
Mainstream media focusing on gossip.
Yeah.
I do think this is like all part of the circus. Like, who gives a fuck?
He's also a guy that was like, I'm an oyster farmer, but he's got like rich parents. Like, it's so, like, why is the left so? Why are the people that we get on the left? Why are they so fucking embarrassing?
Because you need corporate money to be in the national races. So
yeah,
anyone legit would never make it anywhere up there.
But why can't we just get like?
Because there's money in politics. Like, you're not gonna get authentic people with a spine.
I mean, why can't like if you told me the person we're gonna run for Senate, we're gonna run a really progressive candidate. He's on the left. He's a guy, but he's like, his mom owns an oyster farm, and he was in the military, and yeah, he worked for Blackwater, and yeah, he's got like a Nazi tattoo on his chest, but he's very anti-war. Or we're gonna run like a dog. Who when you say, do you want universal, sit if you want universal health care, they sit. He sits. Like, why can't we have the dog? But we can have the dog, or we can have a guy who
sexted six women.
So just like talk to a chatbot. You could make a chatbot.
Just talk to a corporation.
Just talk to Sam Altman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe he crossed line with those six women. I do also believe him when he says that, like, it's probably being exaggerated. Like, I doubt he was full on sexting with six different women while he had a wife. He was probably just crossing lines.
Yeah.
And that's also icky. And he does suck as a guy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be his friend or anything.
That's
I think
what
it
sounds
sucks.
like, yeah.
Like, he probably does suck as a person, but it's also like, who cares?
Yeah.
As a country.
Who cares? But like, the whole thing is so humiliating. And now it's like, okay, so maybe she'll win because now that's probably going to hurt him in the polls, right? So now we're gonna have another Republican senator, and we could have had a Democratic one. Like,
when we could have had a Democratic one that did all the same shit that the Republicans gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so upset. Like,
yeah.
Who cares? This is all circus.
I mean, it's unfair. Yeah. But don't be sexting when you're married.
Especially if you're running for office.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Dirt's always going to get dug up on you. Unless you are aligned with the right forces, and then bodies will get buried for you.
It's like, you know what you can do, buddy? Go to Whole Foods, buy a cantaloupe, cut a hole in the cantaloupe, and do whatever you want to it.
What?
Just use the cantaloupe. Have sex with a cantaloupe.
What?
Just stick your dick in a cantaloupe instead of sexting.
Okay.
All right. In China, they don't even have sex because they're busy. They're busy building ships.
They're busy building infrastructure.
They're busy building infrastructure and executing billionaires. And you forget to be horny when that's what's happening in your country.
Horniness is like so low vibration.
It's goy behavior.
When you're building bridges, you don't even need to
literally.
Because you have you have your comrades,
right,
and we're all like doing something bigger than ourselves.
Fucking is for goys when you think about it. It's goy behavior. Sexting. Can that be the title of the episode? Yeah, sexting is for goys. All right. Consider joining us over on Patreon, everybody. Patreon.com/Recine Time. And we're going to head over there and maybe we'll give you a little bit of gossip. Patreon.com/Recine Time. See you. Bye. God bless.